as soon as I finished college, I went to college, and the plan was to do my A levels and then join the Air Force. So, and I actually joined at 19. So, I completed my college, and then I had a little bit of time, having gone to the careers office in Birmingham at the time. Went to the CIO, did my sort of the normal bits you want. So my initial joining was a little bit not where I wanted to go. Initially, I wanted to fly, and that was always my ambition. But when I went to the careers office and did the aptitude test and everything else, they said, yes, you have the aptitude for commissioning, but I had no service. They said, your service knowledge is poor. So my actual understanding of the day-to-day life of an officer, if I wanted to be one, which I wanted to be, I didn't really understand that and the process to get there. So yes, they said you can come in, but they recommended I join as an airman, and they directed me towards the Trade Group 12, which was Aerospace System Operator, ASO, with a small P, Trade Group 12. And the reason they directed me towards that trade was that was a trade where there were lots of young fighter controllers, flying officers who'd just come through officer training, been through fighter control school, and were just new. And actually the idea was that I could basically immerse myself in them, get to know them and understand what it would be like to be a junior officer and how they grew through. And to be honest with you, and to be completely fair, that's exactly how it worked. I agreed. I joined up as an ASO, or Trade Group 12 as it is. Went to West Drayton and London to do my training, RAF West Drayton, which was an interesting place. So sitting there in darkened rooms, watching radars going around, beep, beep, squeak, squeak. And then writing backwards, had to learn to write backwards as well, which was quite an interesting skill, which I still have. But writing backwards on big tote boards in operations centres and operations rooms. So I did that, completed my training, and I went to my first tour at RAF NETZ, which is in Norfolk, on the Fens in Norfolk, which is it's a post-World War II radar site, part of the UK Integrated Air Defence System. So that was my first tour in that side. Now, so whilst it wasn't, again, as I said, it wasn't where I wanted to be, because I wanted to be an officer, they directed me into that path. But on my very first day, actually arriving at NETZ, so we lived at Coltishall, then we got the bus in the morning to work in the radar site, which is remote. I was interviewed by a Flight Lieutenant Smith, and how many years later, and I still remember his name. I was marched in, sent down to his office, and on day one, he said to me, I believe from your records that you want to be commissioned, you want to become an officer and go onto an aircrew side. And I was quite shocked to actually think that this message had got from the careers information office and the interview process to this gentleman sat in front of me while I'm standing to attention at his desk. And he said, well, we'll help you with that process. And true to his word and true to all the staff at RAF NETZ, they helped me. Station Commander Group Captain Hopkins, the OC admin as well, they gave me mock interviews, told me what reading material I needed. They sat me down with the junior officers, so lots of junior officers would come to me and I'd sit down with them. They talked about their experiences, their training, and what sort of things they did. So I was supported massively in that process. To that end, and in my final year, I was moved out of NETZ to Witton, where I went on to the 25 Squadron with Bloodhounds, which tells you, everyone who's watching this, how old I am. Went to Bloodhounds, but the reason for that was really to give me my last chance to really focus on preparing to go to officer training and go for my interviews. And actually, part of it as well, they wanted me to detach myself from some of my friends. I had some good, interesting friends who, I won't say his name, one of them, he loved a good fight. He loved a good scrap. He was an RAF boxer, but he loved a good scrap. And he was like, you probably need to detach yourself from some of your friends in the day-to-day social setting so you can prepare yourself for Cranwell. Still in touch with those guys now, by the way, which is quite interesting. But it was a move to sort of give me that time to focus on getting myself ready to prepare for those interviews, and which I was fortunate enough to do and received the letter saying you've been accepted for a permanent commission, and that's then where the story rolls into my commissioning side.